You are everything and more that I could have hoped for my twin sister. I wanted her to be the happiest bride. If you guys saw me, I've been going around the place, so I've been a crazy maid of honor. Because why do I want this? My twin sister deserves the best. And I'm so glad you are the right person for her. Now I know she will be in good hands. For the past 4 years, I've already treated you as a brother. But now, I'm glad to call you officially my brother. Congratulations, you guys.
Thank you very much, Jennifer. And of course, we have Mr. Michael Goho.
Friends, guests, and to everyone who made this wedding a success, good evening. I'm delighted to be with all of you here tonight for this very special day of two of my very close friends. Where do I start? Both Ralph and Jasmine were my classmates way back in the first grade in CDCC. And looking back at that period of time, they hardly interacted. In fact, Jasmine never even knew Ralph was her classmate or if he ever existed. And no one could have ever predicted that 20 years later, they'd get together. It just seemed very unlikely then. Looking back, nothing much has changed about their personalities. Ralph has always been the guy who hardly said anything, while Jasmine was the one who just wouldn't stop talking. Jasmine is that one classmate you had na medyo know-it-all, kind of feisty, displays a lot of initiative, kind of emotional, outspoken, very reactive, and doesn't really think before speaking. While complete opposite to Ralph, he is that one classmate you had who just kept to himself, kalma lang, hilumon, relaxed, igo lang motando, way libog, no reaction, and he thinks before speaking. So in that sense, you can't find two people who complement each other more perfectly, a talker and a listener. And in many ways, they really complete each other. So back then when we were in elementary, this was during the late 90s and to early 2000s, even though I was Ralph's best friend, at one point I actually thought he was gay. Like a closet homosexual. Because you know, as you're growing up, you go through puberty, time comes when you engage in some kanang bastos na storya good. So you discuss girls or sex, or you share about watching porn, di ba? Normal raman na, and all that stuff. But I never connected with Ralph that way. When we were 12 years old or something, I'd ask him something related to women or sex, and he'd just smile. And he would never connect. Di jud niya isumpay ang storya. So, mao to kaingon ko, bayot jud siya ni tawhan na. So, there was that one aspect about him I found odd. So, but all that changed when Ralph fell for Jasmine 4 years ago. So, naigo jud ni Ralph like he was struck by a thunderbolt. So, their love story began when they crossed paths again and ended up working out together at City Gym at Waterfront. Through mutual friends, silang Dexter, and they got to reconnect there since the first grade. So, dugay na sila way kita, mga 15 years. And eventually, the attraction they had for each other was undeniable. And it took only a few weeks for things, few months for things to begin to materialize. Kay hard to get man siya. So So, of course, when they got together, everyone was really surprised. So, Jasmine really brought it out of Ralph. I honestly thought Ralph was emotionally dead. Because the whole time we were friends growing up, I hardly saw him express any feelings. I thought he had a heart of stone or something. So I guess Jasmine is the only girl that could make Ralph sexual. She's the only one who can bring out his urges. So we all thank Jasmine for unleashing that out of him and turning on his libido. I actually thought he was hopeless. I mean this sincerely. Hilom-hilom ra day ito, pero bigaon sa di ay. And I'd also like to mention Ralph somewhat had an eating disorder before. In the years 2006 to 2013, Ralph went crazy and dropped 50 pounds or more. Would hardly eat rice or anything. Grabe yung diet that time. So at one point, his height is mga 5'9", no? 5'9". 5'11 din. At one point, he was 135 pounds. So murag dili na healthy. So he looked like he was always starving. And he looked perpetually miserable. But if you see him now, ever since 4 years ago, they got together, he looks chubbier, healthier, and happier. Yeah, di sabi mahutdan og pagkaon dito sa balay nilang Sarmiento. So yeah. So to summarize, we thank Jasmine for making Ralph a normal and healthy 27-year-old man. I was genuinely worried if Ralph was secretly anorexic during that period of time. Nagod uban tao mo duol nako. Kana imong migo ba addict na? Kay daot man kay siya sa una. Pero may na lang na ulian na karon. And Ralph, I always knew you had it in you. So tonight, wedding night man jud, kumbate jud karon gabi. So don't stop until Jasmine surrenders. So if you need a performance enhancer, just let me know. I have some. Whether it's Viagra or Levitra or unsa pa na, Cialis. Kibaw ko ana tanan. Anyway, to add, Jasmine was Ralph's exception. And in my whole life of knowing Ralph, I've never seen him fall hard for anyone but Jasmine. And I mean this. Ralph has never had a girlfriend, and Jasmine is Ralph's first and will be his last. But with Jasmine, she's had a few scars. She's had a few crazy ex-boyfriends who pulled her life down. But fortunately, Ralph came along and erased all those negativity and made her believe in love again. And with Jasmine, I think she's the only girl in the world who gets turned on when she sees Ralph training for boxing. I know Ralph is a good-looking guy, but he's not like Cristiano Ronaldo or anything. Just kidding. Anyway, so ever since that time they got together, in July 12, 2013, they were inseparable. Always together, very tight, very clingy. You would find Ralph's car outside the Sarmiento residence at 6:30 every night. And Ralph would be present even in family dinners on Sundays. In fact, I hardly ever talk or see Ralph anymore. Ambot, maayo jud siguro kay nimo dala si Jasmine na grabe ka pilit si Ralph. Wa ko kitag tao ing ana ka igo. bisan Beauty and Beyond na facial center, naka-invest gud siya pila ka milyon. Pero advice lang nako ni Ralph, ayaw lang pa-under, ha? Mas maayo, balanse na inyong relasyon. But anyway, this is an unconventional relationship. There's no doubt about Ralph's loyalty because knowing Ralph, he's a no-nonsense guy who knows what he wants, and I admire that about him. His discipline, his decisiveness, there's no doubt about his commitment because he's one of those rare guys who just means what he says. And he's one of those rare people who can tolerate Jasmine. I'm just kidding. And I'm happy that there were no Great Wall issues in this wedding. I don't know if you understand what Great Wall means, but kana bitong uban mga insik na dapat minyo jog insik, pero nonsense naman na in this generation, di ba? So hopefully, let this be an example that we don't follow such close-minded thinking in this generation and into the future. So love should be pure and authentic, like what these two have. True love wins. And with Jasmine, Ralph is in good hands since she's very responsible, smart, proactive, creative, driven, and competitive. And now I think about it, they also complement each other well in business. Jasmine is Ralph's first and only girlfriend, as I said, and it's rare to find a love that pure these days. You know, in our generation, values have gone down. Girls are no longer martyrs. Relationships come and go easily. We've become superficial and materialistic in some ways. So value and treasure what you have, because I've seen many couples, but rare it is to find a relationship this pure and beautiful. I know I'm in no position to give advice on relationships since I myself had commitment issues, but I have some experience in the past with destructive and toxic relationships. So whatever happens, please maintain a selfless, harmonious, positive outlook in your relationship. And focus on making each other grow and become better people. Have an open and mature approach with your relationship dynamics. Dedicate yourselves fully in the relationship, but at the same time, have independent lives and don't let your lives revolve around each other. Look at the bright side of everything and take out your pride and ego. Always be level-headed and don't be a slave to your emotions. Take control of your own happiness. Don't live your life dependent on what people or society may want for you. Anyway, I'm very happy for the two of you. I wish you both a lifetime of happiness together. I wish you both success with your future children, future businesses, future goals. May you find fulfillment together, physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and of course, sexually. Make this the best marriage it can possibly be, and make the most of your upcoming family. And if there's anything you need at all, I will always be here for the both of you. So congratulations once again, and I'm deeply honored to be here tonight. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Michael Goho.